Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I want you to think back to literally just this morning. Think about the moment you hit the snooze button for the third time, or maybe when you reached for your phone to doom scroll instead of tackling that project you're behind on. And as you did it, you've probably thought to yourself, man, I just don't have the discipline. Sound familiar? Well, today, we are diving deep into some absolutely incredible insights from Steve Chandler's work on motivation. And I'm telling you, this is going to fundamentally change how you view your own inner strength. We're going to unpack exactly what it means to truly become the disciple of willpower.
So, let me ask you something. How many times have you heard a friend or a coworker just casually drop the line, "Oh, I just don't have the willpower"? Better yet, how many times have you said it to yourself? We say things like, "I have zero willpower when it comes to junk food," or "I just don't have the discipline to sit down and learn that new skill." We throw this phrase around all the time, right? We treat willpower like it's a genetic trait, like having blue eyes or being tall, something we were simply born without. But Steve Chandler challenges us to stop right there and ask a really uncomfortable question. Is this claim actually true? Or is it just a highly effective, completely misguided defense mechanism that we use to protect ourselves?
Chandler points out something absolutely mind-blowing here. He says that when we loudly declare to the world that we have no willpower, we're actually handing ourselves a massive psychological reward. He calls it a secret payoff. Think about it for a second. If I absolutely, fundamentally deny that my willpower even exists, if I convince myself and everyone around me that I'm just biologically incapable of resisting a donut in the break room, well, guess what? I am no longer responsible for developing that resistance. It's completely out of my hands. It's not my fault. And honestly, that feels like an incredible relief in the moment. We get to totally dodge the responsibility and just play the victim to our own passing impulses.
But, and this is a massive but, that temporary sigh of relief comes with a huge invisible cost. The ultimate tragedy of dodging that responsibility of playing the victim is that we are essentially shutting our own spirit down. You see, the development and the active use of our willpower isn't just about, forcing ourselves to do boring chores or go for a run in the rain. According to Chandler, it is literally the absolute most direct access to happiness, to pride, and to motivation that we will ever have in our lives. By denying it even exists, we are actively accepting a smaller, more stagnant version of our lives. We're cutting ourselves off from our own potential for genuine, hard-earned joy.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Section 1, redefining self-discipline.
So, why do we hate the idea of self-discipline so much? Well, it's because most of us view willpower entirely as self-punishment. It feels like you're locking yourself in this miserable gray cage of restrictions. Don't eat this, don't buy that, don't sleep in, stop having fun. And because we attach this incredibly heavy negative connotation to it, of course we never get enthused about developing it. I mean, why would you ever want to volunteer to be your own jailer? But author William Bennett, in his amazing work, The Book of Virtues, gives us a completely different, wildly empowering way to look at this. He points out that the word self-discipline is actually connected to the root word disciple.
Let's just sit with this definition for a second, because it is a total game changer. When you are self-disciplined, you are not acting as your own jailer holding a big stick. You have simply decided, specifically in matters of your own will, to become your own disciple. You become your own follower. You become your own student. Think about the best teacher-student relationship you've ever had or seen. It's not built on hostility. It's built on patience, on careful guidance, and on a genuine desire for growth. In this mindset, you're actively learning from yourself. You're observing your own behaviors, and you're gently guiding yourself toward a better state. It completely, 100% removes the resentment from the whole equation.
And the crucial takeaway here is what happens the exact moment you make that mental shift. The moment you decide, hey, I'm going to be a student of my own will, rather than a helpless victim of my impulses. Suddenly, your life's adventure instantly gets more interesting. Every obstacle, every temptation is no longer a punishment. It's literally just curriculum for your personal growth. You actually start to look in the mirror and see yourself as a fundamentally stronger person, someone who is totally capable of change. And most importantly, you gain profound self-respect. You aren't punishing yourself anymore. You are respecting yourself enough to actively guide your own actions.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, absorbing the enemy's power.
I absolutely love this next concept. It's so visceral. The great American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson used to talk about the historical warriors of the Sandwich Islands, which is the area we now know as Hawaii. Now, these warriors held a very intense, deeply ingrained, almost mystical belief about combat. They believed that when they were in the heat of battle and they successfully defeated an enemy tribesman, the courage of that dead enemy didn't just vanish into thin air. No. They believed it literally, physically passed from the fallen foe directly into the warrior's living body.
They believed they were physically absorbing the life force and the raw strength of the exact thing they had just defeated.
Okay, so obviously we aren't out there fighting tribal battles today, but let's look at how this powerful metaphor applies to our modern, everyday lives. Emerson said that the exact same mystical transfer of energy happens to us today, right now, whenever we look at a temptation and say no. When you actively slay a bad habit, maybe it's finally closing that social media app when you know you should be working, or literally pushing away a dessert you know you don't need, the power of that dead temptation doesn't just disappear into the ether. It passes directly into you. By defeating it, you physically and mentally strengthen your own living will for the very next battle.
And the math on this energy transfer is beautifully simple, yet it's incredibly rewarding. It is a completely proportional transfer. When we resist a small temptation, say, finally dragging yourself out of bed instead of hitting the snooze button one more time, we slay a small enemy, right? And so, we take on a small but very real boost of power. But when we resist a massive temptation, something that has been dragging us down and holding us back for years, like quitting smoking or finally walking away from a toxic dynamic, we take on huge power. We absorb all that massive energy that the temptation used to drain from us on a daily basis.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 3, Keeping Willpower Alive.
So, how do we actually do this? The answer to making this work every single day comes down to a very specific number: 2. Just 2. This idea is based on a brilliant, highly practical recommendation from William James, the legendary pioneering thinker who is often called the father of American psychology.
Let's walk through William James' daily practice together. It's kind of like a gym routine, but for your mind. Step 1, find at least 2 things every single day that you absolutely positively do not want to do. It could be making your bed the second you get up, taking a freezing cold shower, or finally making that really difficult phone call you've been avoiding. Step 2, and listen closely because this is the absolute key to the whole philosophy. Do them for the very reason that you don't want to do them. Not because they make you more productive, not because your boss or your spouse told you to, but purely because your brain is screaming no. By stepping into that friction on purpose, we hit step 3. We maintain constant, daily awareness of our own will. We keep the willpower muscle alive, firing, and strong by deliberately creating our own little training battles. That way, when the real war comes, we are completely ready.
Which brings us right back to you, sitting there right now. I want you to really genuinely ask yourself this question as we wrap up this explainer today. What are the 2 temptations you will defeat today? Think about it. What are the 2 mundane, annoying things you're dreading right now that you are going to tackle head-on solely for the purpose of absorbing their power? It is time to stop hiding behind the comfortable, easy excuse of having no willpower. Make the choice today to be your own student. Go out there, face the friction, slay the temptation, and take that power for yourself. You've got this.